Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 24th of February. I want to talk about that we have forgotten what we are and what it is we're in, that we are in the fullness. We are in the fullness of life. We are the depiction of the fullness of life. And we have forgotten that. In fact, we are being led away from it because we're being told that the fullness of life is evil, or at least a part of it is evil. The lower vibrations are evil. The higher vibrations are good, which is a falsehood. It is a false judgment that we are being driven into. We're judging ourselves wrongly. And the outcome is going to be a being that is absolutely weak, that is unable to reason for itself, that has become a sheep. And we're nearly there, unless we remember who we are and what it is we're in. Again, this knowledge and the divide and conquer, which is happening in ourselves, the division is happening in ourselves, as I said, through a false judgment. We are at war with ourselves. We are creating divisions within ourselves. That knowledge, in the Sumerian text, it says the knowledge of kingship and priesthood came from the heavens. Rulership came from the heavens. Again, kingship and priesthood were being created through ideology, political ideology, and religious dogma. So they said that knowledge came from the heavens. It's not naturally in this world. Are they still here? That's the first question, because you are forever being pointed again out there into the astral zone where all these evil beings are that are doing all these things. Are they still here, or did they in fact leave all that time ago? Yeah, did they get into their spaceships or whatever and bugger off? And what we're left with is actually the human beings that have learned from the gods how to do this. They have the knowledge of the gods and they're now working it for themselves. Yeah? It is absolutely possible that there is no longer any alien involvement in this. But this is purely driven by humans that have the knowledge of the gods. Not that it matters in the end who's got the knowledge. What matters is that it's being worked on us and that it is creating us. They are creating us, whoever they are. And that is a truth that we need to wake up to know ourselves. Because once you can see what they're doing, they can no longer do it. Once you are again in the fullness of your truth, they can no longer divide you. And this is done on a spiritual level. I want to show you this here. So again, the Gnostics, let's go back to the Gnostics that saw the eons in the Pleroma, that saw the fullness. They saw themselves. They saw the fullness of the building blocks of consciousness, and that they work together, that the eons come together to create something. Again, they saw themselves. It was the knowledge of the Hermetics, of polarities, and this is extremely important, because that is the fullness that we are in. The opposites, the innumerable amount of opposites that exist, that make up us, make up this world. From solid to spiritual, let's say it like this. From material to spiritual. From light to dark, from dark to light. From hate to love. From fear to courage. We are the fullness of all of that. We are the fullness of all of the polarities. We are the fullness of the pleroma. Life in the solid is the fullness of the pleroma. You're in it. Stop looking for it out there. You're in it. You're in it, and it is within you. It is within you and all around you. You're in the fullness of life. Yeah? Paul said, in the fullness of life, we are in death. That is where they're leading you. Into the state of death, of half-truth. Into the division that will lead to death. To be in only one place and proclaim that the only truth. You're in death. Doesn't matter how high and how wonderful the vibration is, you are in death. Because you're not in the fullness of life. You're not in the fullness of the polarities. And you're not using them. That is the most important part. You're not using them. You're afraid to use them. You're afraid of what you call darkness within you. It is not darkness. It works something. It is there for a purpose. Everything that has been given to us was given to a purpose to serve us. Again, false judgment. You're being told it's evil. You must stay away from it. You're at war with yourself. You're being conquered. We are being conquered. Humanity is being conquered. And I said it is the knowledge of the gods, the knowledge of spiritual pathways, the knowledge of the dualities, that the opposite of fear is actually courage. They know that. We are being led away from that knowledge. You raise your vibration at fear, it should take you to courage. We're being led away from that. Into another duality, into the love-hate reality, and then up to love. Absolutely bypassing courage. On that pathway, you bypass courage. Completely. So we have no courage. Humanity was on the top of the food chain in this world, in this matrix, because we were the fullness of the pleroma. We're solid, we're spiritual. We're the fullness of the spectrum of that polarity. We were love and compassion. We are love and compassion. We can be. And that's good. That is good for cooperation. That is good for coming together. It is apparently good for healing, according to Jesus. It work all those things. But that is not the only reason why we are still here, why we made it in this matrix. It was because we were the fullness. We also had strength and courage. And again, that is the part of us that we're taking away from. We're driven into fear. We have no more strength. And become fluttering beings of love and compassion. As I said, they're good for healing. They're not warriors. And we need the warrior. Right now, I think we need the warrior inside of us. We need to find that again. We judged it, we put it away. It has become our shadow. Because it's still there. It's part of your truth. You can't actually I don't think you can actually get rid of it. You can just suppress it. So the warrior, the strength, the courage has become our shadow. And Carl Jung said we must reintegrate our shadow to become a full being again. That is what we must do. Now the outcome of all of this, of these teachings, are snowflakes, basically. Well, let me just say the last thing, that humanity, why we are where we are, as I said, love and compassion, strength and courage. And we were actually mildly intelligent at some point. The ability to reason. Yeah? Which is also being lost. In fact, I hear teachers, also spiritual teachers, that tell you to switch off the analyzer. Yeah, don't think. Just go into yourself and become aware of awareness. You're definitely out of the fullness at that point. Yeah? You've lost the plot. Or you're losing the plot anyway, because you are not in the fullness. And as I said, what it produces is snowflakes. Unable to reason for themselves, bleeping sheep that will say everything that they're being told to say, that are afraid to say anything else than what they're told to say, that are afraid of those that say something different and go up against them. Yeah? You say something that is not part of what has been drilled into their empty heads, and you're a threat. Yeah, and they go bleeping, I need a safe space. I've been hurt, and I need a safe space. And guess who is sitting there with open arms, come to me. I give you safety. I will save you. I will save you. That's saving the sheep. That's the good shepherd that is saving the sheep. We're not sheep that need to be saved unless we make ourselves into that. And apparently we can become that. And if humanity as a whole becomes that, snowflakes, we will be destroyed. We will be ruled over. We will become slaves. And here's the thing that, and it's also been said that their plans are intergenerational. This has been going on for a long time. This is the breeding of humanity on a spiritual level, to create a new kind of consciousness, a new kind of being, for humanity as a whole to be reborn into a new state of consciousness, that of a sheep. And we're dying. We're dying in the half-truth. We've been taken away from the fullness, which is life, and we are in life, and we're surrounded by life, and in it we're in death, increasingly in death. We're dying. And then something will come to save us, only to enslave us. They will tell us, again, if you look at the book of the Revelation, what does God do in the end? He gives of his truth freely. Yeah? He will be God. His truth will be the truth in the world. And we will be as children. We are God's children. What are children? Children are those that don't know, have not yet fully formed, that don't know what they are. Yeah? That are in theta. We're in theta. We're just being drizzled on, pissed on actually, and programmed. And that is going to be humanity's natural state in the end. That is the glorious new human that we're going toward. Is that what we are to become? the children of God, unable to think for ourselves, no longer knowing our fullness, no longer knowing our truth. We will be in life and we will be dead. Animated only by the puppet masters that will pull our strings. That's where we're going toward, unless we remember who it is we are and what it is we're in. Don't look for the Plemroma somewhere else. Don't look for the aeons in the middle of the bloody universe. They're within you. The Plemroma is within you. The all is within you and all around you. The fullness is within you. Stop sliding into half-truth. See the polarities correctly. See the pathways correctly. What happens when you raise your vibration? Oh, we must raise our vibration. Well, then know what it is you're doing. When you're in fear and you raise your vibration, it's to take you to courage. We're bypassing courage at the moment. We're bypassing strength. All of those things are being taken away from us, which is our truth, which is why we survived, which is why we're dying now. And they have that knowledge. They have the knowledge of how to divide and conquer. The division happens within you, which makes you weak. Everything was given to us from the beginning. Nothing was created that is within us that is evil. And being the fullness is what has made humanity so successful up to this point. That is why we survived. Because we were the fullness of the truth. We were all the polarities in every part of the spectrum within them. We can shift. We can be what we need to be at any given situation. We can no longer do that. If you can only be love and compassion, you're imprisoned. You have no more room to move. So that is what we must remember, who we are. We are human, we are man, the level of man in this world, that is human. And we are the fullness, and we are in life, which goes from the material to the spiritual. And we are the entirety of that polarity. We must remember all of those things, and not to be divided from our truth and sheep-herded into just one aspect of ourselves and imprisoned there. Now the last thing is we are the fullness. We are the fullness of all the polarities. The Plemroma is within us. Because life, being in creation, means being in change. Creation is the shifting sands, it always has been. But we can build our house on shifting sands because we can deal with it. Yeah? Jesus said, that's the way of the cross. Don't build your house on shifting sands. Go become one thing and go into a never-changing reality. God never changes. Yeah? Be the one thing and be there, and nothing will ever change. Then you're not in life. You're not in creation. Creation is change, is constant change. And we are the fullness, so we can deal with that and go with it. Learn from it. See all the possibilities that are contained within the all. Experience them. And yes, survive them. We can survive them. And flourish. And thrive. Only if we are the fullness of what we are. And if we're not, we need to be saved. So they're creating us first, They first create that which has become unfit for life. They're creating that has become unfit for life. Once we are created, they come and save us. Well, thank you very much. Isn't that lovely? We are the fullness. Life is the fullness. We must remember who we are. And we must remember our shadow side, because I think we'll need it. We will absolutely need it if we want to survive. We will need courage and strength. And we need to bring that back and reincorporate it into what we are. And become the fullness of the truth again. Anyway, here folks, I leave it at that for today. And I talk to you again soon.